Welcome to the Coach's Corner segment, and we want to continue this theme of excellence that we started in our Monday Morning Moments podcast episode this week and talk more about it. And on that segment, and we'll post a link to it here, I shared two quotes around excellence by Aristotle and another by Colin Powell as well. And I think when we think about excellence, I love excellence in going to a restaurant. We love excellent customer service and great food, excellent food and excellent service. And it's great to go to a restaurant like that. Or maybe it's also in a customer service experience where you've bought something and the customer service was just over the top. And not only did you get the product that you wanted, but you got it before you expected it. And the service afterwards was incredible as well. And people wanted to make sure that you were happy with the product. We just appreciate excellence. And when people go above and beyond what they're called to do to make sure that you're pleased with the service that you get. It could be watching the Olympics or watching your favorite sport and watching an athlete prepare either for 4 years or maybe it's just over the course of a season. Prepare to be their best and to go after it, to win the championship, win the gold medal, and take their gifts and talents and put work and effort into that, to refine that over time, to develop excellence in their lives. And as we talked about on Monday, if you want excellence in those bigger things, that championship moment or standing on the podium, that's where you have to develop that habit of excellence in the little things, the unseen hours, the training, and all the hard work that goes into that as well. But I want to share with you a couple things of what excellence is not, and then share with you what excellence is and maybe 3 tips on how to develop excellence and how to pursue excellence in your life. And first of all, excellence is not perfection. I think when we use a lofty word like excellence, we often associate that with something that's unattainable and something that's, that excellence is perfection and I could never be perfect. And that's right, you can't be perfect. But excellence is not perfection. And I've shared the story about Michael Johnson in the Atlanta Olympics, and the Olympics are coming up again this summer. But in Atlanta, he had the gold shoes. Nike had sent him the gold shoes, and he was trying to accomplish some great feats both in the 400 and also in the 200 meters, and wanted to win the gold medal and also set world records in both events. And we watched the 200 meters, and if you go back and look at that on YouTube, you'll see that he accomplishes something great and incredible. In fact, he had broken the 200-meter record earlier that summer with a time of 19.66. But then in the Atlanta Olympics, just a few months later, he breaks the record again, his own record, with a time of 19.32 seconds. And in sprinter's time, that's just an incredible margin to increase just over a couple of months to set that record. And you would be looking at that race and say, man, that was the perfect race. That was excellent. But again, it wasn't perfect. It was excellent. But the third step out of the block, there was a brief stumble. And he talks about this in his book, Slaying the Dragon. And it's interesting that even the perfect race or even an excellent race like that, there was not perfection. And what we would have thought would have been the perfect race. But he still persevered through that moment and finished the race with excellence and accomplished his goal as well. So when we think about excellence, it's not perfection. And so immediately that takes all the pressure off so that we can pursue that greatness and basically maximize our talent and focus on the process to be excellent in whatever we do, knowing that everything is not going to be perfect. I think when I see people get defeated by perfection or the pursuit of perfection, because when they're not perfect, they're surprised by that, and then they lower their standards. And we can't do that. We have to make sure that we know that there's going to be a journey and there's going to be missteps along the way. There's going to be setbacks, but we have to look at it and make sure that we know that we're just pursuing excellence in that day of training or in that day when we get to shine in a race or get on the podium ourselves as well, and know that excellence is a part of that process. It's also not something that is some lofty, unattainable thing just for the chosen few that can achieve that. Again, excellence is something that we should pursue every day, even in our just ordinary day-to-day life, and in whatever role that we play is, performing that with excellence. Every day, I pretty much have oatmeal is the same meal every day for breakfast. And I can't tell you that I'm trying to make the most excellent breakfast ever made, but I do things around that. Maybe it's trying to get the milk just right so that when I put that in the microwave and mix up the steel cut oats and put a little bit of things in there like omega oil and other things that I use to put in that to make excellent oatmeal, that's what I'm striving to do. So even in something as mundane as making oatmeal, maybe I can make the perfect mix where I didn't get it too milky or too kind of solid where it's not not doable, not tasteable, and not enjoyable in the process. And that's a funny example, but it's something that in everyday things we can pursue excellence. And so maybe that for you is making the perfect steak, the perfect bowl of oatmeal, but maybe it's larger and more impactful things as well, as far as what you're pursuing and doing that to the best of your intentions. So again, excellence is not perfection. It's not something unattainable for us as well. It's something that we can pursue, and it's something that we can do every day. So if it's not those things, what is it? Well, it's within our grasp, and it's making sure that we know that excellence is something that we can pursue, and you don't have to be the most talented person to pursue excellence. It's really interesting if you look in writings around where there's Greek writings, and the New Testament in the Bible is an example of that, where Paul writes a lot of words around this word arete, which is the Greek word for excellence. And literally that's translated and can be defined as your best. And so when we think about excellence and thinking about the way the Greeks used to think about excellence during that time, and even probably today, if they think about something as being excellent, well, it was made for its purpose. It's being purposeful. And so when we think about excellence, it's pursuing your best, and whatever the gifts, talents, and opportunities that you've been given, it's doing those to the best of your ability. So when we think about excellence in that type of definition and thinking about bringing it down on a smaller scale and something that's very practical and can be very tactical every day, you can pursue your best every day in the things that you're gifted and talented in doing. And there's preparation and there's intentionality and full engagement in that, but you can pursue your best every day. And that's one of the things I want you to think about. I encourage you to think about one role in the Monday Morning Moments segment this week where you could be more excellent. But as you think broader and think about all of the roles that you play, whether it be at work, at home, or in your community, what are those things that you can pursue your best in, or what things can you improve in to pursue a life of excellence or a role of excellence in that particular role? Maybe it's becoming a better husband or a better father, a better mother, a better leader. Maybe it's becoming a better friend. And whatever that might be, doing that with excellence, doing that with purpose. And I think that leads me to another thing that we think excellence is. It can be something as simple as doing things with purpose, having purposeful actions and consistency in your routines. And that can be excellent. As you're training for something, I've trained for marathons, and I'm training right now for some races coming up as we're starting races again. It can be very mundane going through a week and weeks and months of training. But if I look at each day and say I want to be purposeful in my actions and consistent in my routines, then I'm going to pursue those training sessions that I do with excellence. I'm also going to be purposeful about the work I do and the clients I interact with. Excellence can also be making a meaningful impact in the lives of other people using our gifts and talents and making sure that we're seeing needs around us. So that's one way that excellence can play out, just being a good friend, being a good leader, being a good coworker and colleague. How can you pray for somebody today, or how can you encourage them today? Again, that can be excellence, because those are things that maybe you're gifted at or that you can strive to do to make an impact in the lives of other people. And maybe people don't walk away and say, man, that was excellent. But they appreciate that, and it's a form of excellence that shows up and blesses the lives of other people. And especially when we use our gifts and talents to lift up the lives of others. And I think the world needs more of that today as we think about the gifts and talents that we have, not just blessing ourselves and not just using those to make ourselves greater, but how can we use those gifts and talents and the opportunities we have to make a difference in the lives of other people and make their lives better because of it. Aristotle, I alluded to this quote on Monday, but I'll give you the full quote. He said, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. And we have to make sure it's a habit. It's an everyday thing, and it's not just a one-time thing. So as you think about excellence, let's make excellence a part of your life. Think about how you can pursue greatness, pursue excellence, and pursue your best. And as I said before, that's basically the definition of what excellence is all about, is pursuing your best and not getting caught in the comparison trap, but making sure that you look within yourself, saying, these are my gifts and talents, and I'm going to maximize those today to benefit other people. 3 things I want to leave you with as far as how to do that. And you may be saying, strengths, gifts, and talents, I don't know if I have any of those, or I don't know what those are, but they're key in pursuing excellence. And I think the first thing is you've got to identify what your strengths are. And you may want to talk to people who know you best and ask them, what do you think my strengths are? What are my strengths? What do you see in me? What are you passionate about? That would be another way to ask it, because when you can marry the combination or align the combination of strengths and passions, that leads to those areas where you're going to maximize your talent. So first of all, you have to identify what are your strengths. And when we do this, we do a lot of assessments, especially in career coaching. I think you need to go beyond, I think leadership is a strength of mine. You need to take it a layer deeper than that. And it could be something like, beyond leadership, it's coaching and giving feedback to others. Or I feel like I'm an encourager. I encourage people well, and people give me feedback around that. Or maybe it's communicating vision, to other people. But go a level deeper as far as the strengths that you have, and not just a one-word phrase, but what does that strength look like in practice? And that will give you a good indication of what your strengths are. The second thing is, in pursuing excellence, is once you've identified your strengths, play to your strengths. Don't try to play to your weaknesses. Yes, we need to learn from our weaknesses, and yes, we need to grow in our areas of opportunity, but we need to play to our strengths, because the people around you and the organizations that you're in are going to be they're going to be benefited more and blessed more when you come in and play to your strengths than when you try to play to your weaknesses. So making sure that we are in those zones of maximizing our strengths and playing to our strengths is going to allow us to pursue excellence. And then the third area would be grow your strengths. I think a lot of times we can sit back and, as my grandmother used to say, rest on our laurels, and basically rest on our achievements or our accomplishments, and not feel like that we can grow in the areas of our strengths. And we've done blog articles and other things around that, and we'll do others, and we coach people around how to grow their strengths and how to develop that. But we need to be lifelong learners, and we need to be in an area where we're continuing to grow in the areas of our strengths. And as a runner, I've been doing that all my life and feel like I know a lot about how to train for races and how to train for running. But I'm constantly growing, constantly reading new articles, learning from other people who've gone there, been there, done what I've done, or done what they've done and what I want to accomplish, and can relate to what I'm training for and offer advice. And then I take that in the context of who I am. I don't try to do the same thing they did, but I may take some of those methods and customize it to what's going to work best for me. But growing your strengths in any area of life is important, and I think that's how we continue to grow and continue to pursue excellence in our lives. So I've given you several examples in today's session, but just want to encourage you to think about how can you be excellent to the people around you? How can you be excellent in the things you do every day, even some of the mundane things, but even some of the opportunities that have greater the chance or opportunity for impact, and to be engaged in those. And nobody wants to be around mediocre people. So pursue excellence, demonstrate excellence, and encourage excellence in others. Keep others accountable for, hey, that wasn't your best. I know you can do better, and we need you to do better. And I think especially in teams, that's important, whether it be in sports, business, or life. So let's pursue excellence today. Let's lift other people up. Let's make a difference in other people's lives. And most of all, let's make the most of the moments in our life.